Thank you for watching. One of our viewers asked this question, said, I'm 65, I have $300,000 saved. How much income will I get from this $300,000? So this is a very big question many retirees have, and we're going to take a look at this question here today. I want to thank you for watching us here today. My name is Richard with Wisdom Investor. Our goal here is to help people build a retirement nest egg, build their financial wealth. And today we're going to talk about this question here from one of our viewers, how much income they will get from $300,000. Okay, let's take a look at our question here. I'm 65 with $300,000 saved for retirement. My Social Security is $2,100 per month and expenses are $40,000 per year. How much income will I get from the $300,000? And will this be enough to survive for 25 years of retirement? Okay, let's take a look at the facts of the case here. $40,000 in expenses, he says. $25,200 income from Social Security at $2,100 per month. $14,800 deficit here. He has a shortage of income of $14,800. That's the $25,000 subtracted from the $40,000. Now he does have $300,000 savings and wants to know how much income he can generate here in retirement. So we're going to look at some various scenarios here of how much income he can generate. He may want to invest this in a money market fund or savings account. He may want to have it invested in a municipal bond. Maybe he wants to put it into an annuity or invest it in the stock market. So we're going to take a look at how much income this person can generate in retirement. So just to recap, our objective here is we need to make this money last for 25 years. We also need to have enough money to cover the deficit of $15,000. Now, the first call to action for everybody is out of this $300,000, he's going to need to set up an emergency fund. Things happen. If you own a house, the roof's going to wear out. Maybe the house needs to be painted. Maybe something happens to the plumbing. So we need to set aside some type of an emergency fund. In this case, I would highly recommend that a person set aside $40,000 times 2 years. That would be $80,000 in cash, put in some kind of a savings, not only to cover expenses, but also some type of an emergency. Let's look at our first assumption here. We're going to use the 4% rule. 4% rule is kind of the standard retirement planning rule of thumb on how much to withdraw. Now, in this case, if he withdrew 4% from his $300,000, that's going to give him $12,000 per year. That's still $3,000 short of his deficit he has to make up. His deficit, again, was $15,000. Let's take a look at how long this $300,000 would last him. Again, it's $12,000 per year or $1,000 per month. Still going to leave him short. Let's assume he had it invested at 2% in a money market. This particular situation would last him over 30 years in this particular case, but it's going to leave him short of about $250 per month. Let's look at the next scenario, $300,000, and this time we're going to use a 3% rule, and we can see that's going to give him $9,000 per year. He needs $15,000. This is still going to leave him $4,000 short. Let's take a look at the $300,000, and he has a 3% withdrawal rate, earning 2% in a money market. That's going to give him $750 per month. It's going to last well over 30 years. However, it's going to be about $500 per month short of the $1,250 he's going to need per month. Let's take a look at the next scenario, $300,000. This time he's going to use a 5% withdrawal rule. That's going to give him $15,000. That's right on the money what he needs. So let's break this down to $300,000, and he's going to withdraw $1,250 per month, and he's earning 2% savings from a money market, for example. Right now, it's hard to get interest earnings higher than 2% at the time of this video. However, if he's able to do this, this money would last him approximately 24 years. He needs to last about 25 years, but the 5% rule is going to get him closer to the amount of money he needs per month without cutting back on expenses. Another example here is if he invested, say, $250 of that $300,000 into a municipal bond. Municipal bonds are going to vary, but let's just say he had a 20-year municipal bond at 4%. That's kind of the average. that would generate $10,000 per year income. He does need $15,000. Perhaps out of the other $50,000, he could generate some additional money or cut expenses or come up with maybe a part-time income. Here's another interesting way to generate the $15,000, taking the $250,000 and putting it into an annuity. That would pay $1,300 per month in this particular situation, which meets his goal of $15,000. Here's an example with this annuity, a $250,000, what it would bring in with different circumstances. We're not selling annuities here or anything. I'm just using this as an example. But a life annuity would be $1,300 per month until he dies. Life and 10 years certain would pay $1,280. And the life with 10 years certain, it says if you die during the first 10 years after payments have begun, your beneficiaries continue to receive the income to the remainder of the 10 years. And then there's a life with cash refund. We have $1,195. And so basically what that says, you receive this income for your lifetime. If you die before receiving an amount equal to the premium, your beneficiaries will receive lump sum equal to the remainder of the premium, which has not yet been paid to you. So there's some various scenarios with annuities. Another way of generating income would be to invest it into the stock market, a mutual fund, or an ETF, or bonds. And here's a situation, if he invested $280,000 in the stock market, he could generate $15,000 per year from withdrawals. Let's take a look at that scenario. Here's a retirement nest egg calculator from Vanguard. This person, we're going to invest $280,000. We're going to take 20 of it and put it aside. And then if he needs additional monies along the way, he can take it out of this investment. But $280,000, and we need the money to last 25 years. He wants to take out $15,000 to cover his deficit right now. If he put it into the stock market, say with a 50-30-20 ratio, 50% stocks, 30% bonds, 20% cash, his money would continue to grow and he would be able to take out that $15,000 per year. Now there's something really important to think about if you're investing in retirement, and that's called the sequence of returns risk. We're going to take a look at this, but basically if you're investing and you're just now starting retirement, if the market starts to move down in the early years of your retirement, that can have some detrimental effects on your savings. So in this case, we said $280,000 invested. That's 5.4% withdrawal per year to give us our $15,000. The money's going to grow over time. If the stock market continues to do what it's done over the last 50 years, that money would continue to grow and you would have the $15,000. But sequence of returns risk is very important to understand. Here's a look at the Dow Jones Industrials all the way back to 2000. And then here we are right now. We've had the longest bull market of all time. Is this going to continue straight up for the next 20 years? Well, no one knows, but past history says the market has its ups and downs, and so we could be due for a downturn at any moment. Now, if you started to invest at 2008, you put all your money in the market 2007, 2008, and the market collapsed 40 to 50%. Let's just say you had $500,000. That money would be down to $250,000 in a matter of a year or two. So when you start withdrawing your money, when you start your retirement is very, very important. We're going to take a look at the sequence of risk returns. Here's a chart I found from Paul Reed Financial. This is situation initial investment $100,000. We have an investor A and investor B doing the same thing. We're going to withdraw $5,000 per year. This first situation, the first 3 years are negative, and then we have up years and a down year, and we end with up years. The second situation, investor B, it's completely reversed. The negative years are at the end, and we start off the first few years with the same numbers, the same percentages, but they're positive. Here's what happens. These first 3 years that are negative, if you start your retirement and the market is going down, you're withdrawing $5,000 per year from this $100,000. After 3 years, your money's down to $50,000. This other situation where the first 3 years were up even though you're withdrawing $5,000 per month, your money is up. You're up $156,000. Let's look at it after 15 years and getting off to a bad start in the market. Your money is down to $41,000. This other situation, had they gotten off to a good start and withdrew the same amount of money on the $100,000, they end up with $112,000. So it's very important those first few years of starting your retirement that the market is off to a positive start. Okay, so what are the best solutions for this viewer? One would be using a 5% withdrawal rate. This is going to give him his extra $15,000 per year. The annuity is another great example that could work. However, he's going to be giving up that $250,000. It's going to go to the company who puts the money into the annuity, and he would not be able to touch it, but he would get his $1,300 per month. If the person is savvy with their investments, then investing the $280,000, leaving $20,000 aside, would give him his $15,000. Also, the market will grow with inflation, so you're protected from inflation by being invested in the market. If a person's very conservative, they don't want to invest, they don't want to deal with the risk, $300,000 invested at 2% money market with 5% withdrawal would give them the $15,000 per year. Now, a couple of things that we did not put in some of our calculations here is cost of health insurance, or if there's some type of a medical issue that comes about, that can be very detrimental to your finances, as everyone knows out there. The other thing is a person could outlive their money. In this case, we're using 25 years. Typically, if you reach 65, you're going to live at least another 20 years. But there's a lot of folks that are living into their 100s these days. So outliving your money is a concern, I think, for just about everybody.